Hello and welcome to another new series from myself, Dave Mack. Here I am playing TEW IX again, and I've been trying to resurrect my 1995 game from TEW 2020. A problem I found there is porting it over. I've had some real issues. Then I got a message from one of my friends telling me that there was a 1992 save coming out, and this is absolutely going to be my wheelhouse. This is the absolute time when I was absolutely loving my wrestling. I was out watching it all the time. I went to SummerSlam 1992. This is really what I want to get into. So I looked at this mod from Flair and thought this is going to be absolutely brilliant. So here I am diving into a new save for 1992 where I'll be booking as WWF. This episode is a little bit of just a real quick one, just to give a quick introduction of what's going on, having a quick look around of all the things we need to get sorted. You'll see we've got a lot of red here as we're starting, so we've got lots of things to look at, but just basically a bit of an introduction to say this is what we're going to be doing going forward. I'm hoping I can get my WCW 1995 save going again, because I'd really like to delve back into that. I had some ideas going on that I'd like to take forward. But if not, this is really going to be one of my main focuses alongside my 21st Century Wrestling save that I'm doing as well in the Seaverse. So yeah, what's our plan with this one? Not a great deal of definitive plans of what I'm going to do going forward with this one. I kind of want to just take WWF forward. I think it was a fairly decent time for wrestling. We had some good characters around the roster at this time. It was quite a big roster. I think that's one of my first things I've got to look at here. I've got 68 people on my roster, which is way too many for me to handle, so I'm going to be looking at, interestingly, getting rid of some of those, hopefully bringing some new people in, because we've got, obviously, WCW is a decent bit of competition for me at this time, so they're going to be going around there, but I just generally want to kind of push things forward. I think one of my main things is I want to give the Nature Boy, Mr. Ric Flair here, a little bit of a better booking than he got from WWF at the time. I mean, obviously he won the Royal Rumble in 92, but then I feel his career it never really hit the heights as it should have done, and I think we want to really build towards a Hogan versus Flair feud. That is what I'd really love to do in this game. That would be something that I think would work really well. But outside of that, I've got no real plans. I kind of like the idea. I've always go down that kind of Vince McMahon idea of just crushing the opposition, so that's what we're going to do. We've got alliances going on, so obviously we've got the NWA, which WCW kind of head up with a few others there. I want to kind of make sure we just drive all of these out of the business and be the only one that's there. From what I've read, this is a pretty good mod as far as longevity is concerned. It's got a lot of future debutants, so hopefully we've got a lot of guys that are going to crop up in the future that we can kind of book this for a while. Who knows? I'd love to. Obviously, my last series did not last very long, mainly because of the introduction of TEW IX kind of ruined that a little. Well, not ruined it, but kind of put it on the back burner and made it a little bit trickier. I was trying to run them alongside each other, but I'm enjoying TEW IX. I enjoy playing this game. I think it plays really well. And so the fact we've got a 92 mod out is like, oof, absolutely perfect for my tickling my taste buds. This is my thing. So what are we going to look at? Well, we're going to have a quick look at the roster today. Have a look at who our big names are, and I think there's going to be no surprise who we're going to have cropping up on here. We've got people like the Macho Man, we've got Ric Flair, we've got Hogan, and we've got Warrior, but I think Warrior is at the moment, is he an absentee? I think we go over here, the Ultimate Warrior absent for legal reasons for 60 days, so yeah, he's not going to be about, but our actual top of our card with Hogan, Flair and Savage, that's pretty stellar stuff. I mean, we've got Savage there with 86s, Flair with 85s, I imagine Hogan's going to be a lot higher. Yeah, 96, look at that, absolute superstar. So we've got some real big star power in there. If we go through a little bit further down, we've got The Undertaker, who at 26 is just coming through. We've got Sid Justice, who's kind of in his prime. We've still got a Sergeant Slaughter, who can kind of go. We've got our Ted DiBiase at 37. These are some real solid hands at the top end of the card to bring some more of our well-known talent that we're going to be getting through here. So, well, I say some of the new talent coming through. I'm not sure that's Roddy Piper, but we've got people like the Boss Man at 28. Excuse me. A 34-year-old Bret Hart who will be obviously getting a push. We've got Jake Roberts in kind of their prime, so we've got some good stuff there. We've got Mr. Perfect who's injured, but hopefully we can bring him back. And then I think if we go down to the lower end of the card, oh God, look at this. Recognisable, we have an absolutely massive number of people here. We've got Marty Jannetty, who should be there. Other highlights, Shawn Michaels, 26 years of age. There's a guy that we're going to kind of build the future around. You've got Earthquake, we've got Typhoon, I'd imagine. Yeah, these are all these kind of guys that I really know. This is absolutely all the era that really is I'm very excited about. This is where I really knew my wrestling. This is when I was buying the sticker albums. I was a kid watching it. I was been 8, 8 at the time. Yes, 8. See how come on maths is. Yeah, I'd have been 8 at the time. Absolutely loved this. I was out renting the videos. So all of these guys, Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Jimmy Snookers, all of these guys are the ones I remember. Immediately we can see that I'm going to have to really cut this roster down because this is an unmanageably large sized roster. This is obviously everyone knows. This is referees and we've got Linda McMahon. That's quite nice. So God knows what she's got. Absolutely zero skills. Although weirdly massively high psychology rating. So there you go. Linda McMahon knows her wrestling. We've got the Rocket, Owen Hart, who would have been there with Coco Beware at that time, wouldn't he? And all those sort of things. Probably would have been tagging with Jim Neidhart at that time as well, I'd imagine. Papa Shango. You know, also, so we've got a really strong roster to work with. We've got a lot of chuff that we can get rid of. There's going to be a lot of people. Oh, Shane Stephens, look at that. We've got a young Shane McMahon as a referee. So that's quite exciting as well. So I quite like that. What else have we got we can look at? We can have a quick look at the creative. Obviously, our big players there, but who's going to be the future stars? We've got Tatanka, the Native American. Absolutely loved him as a kid. Absolutely brilliant. I know looking back, I think the gimmick was a little bit questionable, but we're looking back from fresh eyes from nowadays. But I loved him at the time. Big Boss Man there. And a Louis Spiccoli. Have no clue who he is. Not sure he's going to get the push up the card. I mean, he doesn't even look like the sort of guy I'm going to want to push. Our hot prospect, HBK, of course, British Bulldog, Earthquake, Owen Hart. So we've got a real plethora of talent that we can be working with and pushing there, which is going to be quite exciting. Hidden Gems. Who should I be signing? Steve Debs, Eddie Rocker, Leatherface, Tejo Khan, and Jimmy Del Rey. I know Jimmy Del Rey. The others are a little bit... not guys I'm particularly familiar with. I don't think they had massive careers, did they? Prove me wrong. Put it in the comments. If I've got one of these guys wrong and they turn out to be, you know, some superstar that I never knew about, then let me know. As far as events and TV go, we've got, what, 6 events a year? What have we got? Yeah, 6 events a year. So I'm probably going to keep the schedule down to that. So we're going to probably look at doing a pay-per-view every other month. So we're going to get, obviously, we're going to have WrestleMania, we've got Royal Rumble, SummerSlam and Survivor Series. I think I'm probably going to throw in the King of the Ring there and maybe one other. Obviously, this is a very, very detailed mod. So we've got a lot of the other pay-per-views that have been used over the years, which are all dormant, so that's kind of interesting. Lots of indie house shows that sort of started coming in a few years later, but I think we're going to throw King of the Ring in there, and we might keep one of the Saturday night main events. As far as TV go, we have Primetime Wrestling, which is our B show every Monday. We have other ones, which is this is where it gets slightly confusing because we've got Wrestling Challenge and Superstars of Wrestling, where they used to tape their wrestling. I'm going to probably put them down to a weekly schedule to make it a little bit easier for myself. I prefer doing it on a weekly run as well. I think it's a bit more true to life and a little bit more interesting. I know it's obviously how they were doing it at the time as a money saving thing, but I'm not too worried about that. I want to do it more on a weekly basis because I think that kind of works, not necessarily live. So we've got 3 hours of wrestling there a week, although 2 of those are B shows. Whether I keep the 2 B shows, I'm not sure. If I cut the roster down, I might only have need for 1. So we'll have a look at that. Again, these are kind of things that I'm kind of looking at. I've literally only loaded up the database today to have a look at, so this is really my first look at it along with you guys. So yeah, I think we've got some really interesting stuff we can get involved with. We've got some storylines going to start with. Bushwhacked. Sure, it's a low-card view. The Bushwhackers don't like the Beverly Brothers. Yeah, fair enough. That was good. Fair to Flair. The WWE title, the WWF title hangs in the balance. So Flair, Hogan, Jack Tunney, Sid Justice, Mr. Perfect. That's a really great one. The IC Championship, Brett versus Roddy Piper, and the Mountie in there as well. I mean, that was WrestleMania 8, wouldn't it have been at the time? That was a really classic match. So that's another one we're going to probably look at pushing forward there. Jimmy's Loyalties, Jimmy Mouth of the South Heart here with Earthquake Typhoon and the $1 Million Man and IRS. So that's kind of cool. We've got some really cool these. I enjoy it so much because there's so many cool people there that I remember. Hulk Hogan, Sid Justice. We won't. I guess this was a storyline that's going on. This really happened at the Royal Rumble mainly, didn't it? It kind of kicked off, but that's kind of cool. Macho Man, Jake the Snake betrayed In the summer of '91, launching a brutal feud, including the snake bite live on television, which is probably one of the most incredible scenes we've ever seen on WWF TV when it's a snake bit Macho Man, so absolutely fantastic. Some really cool starting storylines there to work with. These are going to kind of be big, larger than life kind of campy characters to deal with, which I'm kind of got no problem with. I'm not going to go too serious. This isn't going to turn into the Attitude Era within the first, few weeks of booking. We're going to look at that. There's obviously going to be some guys over in WCW that I think I might try and have a look at pinching over the time, so we can kind of bring some of those interesting ones in. But yeah, this was just a kind of little quick breakdown, just to have a look at what's going on, have a quick look at the roster as we did, and have a quick look through all of the other bits and bobs that are going on that we can kind of get involved with as we take this save forward. So yeah, I'm going to be doing this one more regularly. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do it with the 3 shows. No one really wants to watch a B show get booked because that's boring, but we will be showing the superstars of wrestling, so hopefully maybe even go back to the live streaming of the B shows if there's any interest for that again. But like I say, I'm going to work through a lot of this stuff. I mean, I've got my booking team here which isn't looking particularly strong, so I'm going to have to kind of redo that. We've got the inner circle bits and bobs which are new, which I'm going to kind of go through and maybe update any of these if we need to do that. I mean, my head trainer is Skinner, doesn't necessarily feel like he's going to be the best. Oh no, so he's got a natural trainer attribute, so maybe we will keep Skinner. We're going to look at these kind of new TEW9 things that we can go through and what we can do there. Titles, yeah, I was imagining this. The heavyweight title is vacant, so we're probably going to put that up at the Royal Rumble like we did in real life. Bret Hart IC champ. Yeah, some really exciting stuff. So yeah, I think this will be a really exciting new save. This is one I can really push forward because it really sits quite well with me and historically what I was enjoying at that time, so it should give me a lot to look into. If anyone has got any suggestions on how we start this, if anyone's got any ideas on guys that we can sign, if there's anyone that's going to be free and we should maybe bring in maybe some new talent that we can kind of start pushing, that would be really useful because there's going to be quite a lot there. I think we're going to have a lot of people to work through, and there's going to be a lot of people we can kind of take. If you've got any ideas of people we should be bidding off in this early doors, I saw a lot of jobbers on that roster list as we got going, so that's going to be interesting to do there. But otherwise, again, I want this to be quite an interactive story and an interactive booking and diary again, so feel free to stick any ideas in the comments. We can go from there, and hopefully we won't be releasing any more new TEW games anytime soon, and I can really build this one and actually get this going to get a few shows out there, and we can really get through some of the pay-per-views and start rebooking the history and crush WCW with me. Until next time, it's been really good, and I'll see you soon. Bye.